I want to try to explain the Muslim mindset, especially in contrast to the Western mindset. I have talked with ex-Muslims to try to gain an understanding, so I think I have a pretty good grasp on it. In the Western cultures, we have mostly been built on Judeo-Christian values. Even if we don't believe that anymore, it is woven into the fabric of how we have lived. So we value life, we value fairness, we value tolerance. We want our children to grow up knowing that they're loved, cared for. Hopefully they will be happy and successful. This differs from an Islamic mindset. When you are raised under Islamic doctrine, you are indoctrinated in a lot of hate towards anybody non-Muslim, Jews, gays, a lot of intolerance for anybody that does not follow Islamic teachings. They encourage martyrdom in the name of Islam. They encourage jihad. It was disturbing for me to actually come across a news item about two young children lost their mother she became a martyr, did a suicide bombing, and they were very happy and proud and celebrating that she's in paradise now. When in Western culture, if young children were to lose their mother, it would be a tragedy. The children would be heartbroken. So that goes to the core of what Islam is. It's a win at any cost. It is, if it even takes your life, if it even takes you away from your children, if it takes your children away from you, it doesn't matter as long as it advances Islam. That's a very hard thing for a Westerner to wrap their mind around. We also have under Islam, they do practice deception quite a bit. I have some examples here where there was a billboard that said there are no Muslim terrorists, basically trying to say that they do not condone terrorism. What was failed to be mentioned there is we think of suicide bombings, we think of, say, San Bernardino and Brussels, Paris, France, 7/7 in England. We think of all those as terrorist attacks. They do not. They think of those as defensive acts in a war. And all it takes to declare war to Islam is to not follow Islam. That's a declaration of war to them. It takes far more for you to declare war on a Western country than it does to declare war on Islam. Me saying I am not a Muslim, I do not follow Islam, is to them a declaration of war. So keep in mind that they definitely are using different definitions. They also have where they like to quote from the Quran, and I'm going to paraphrase, that the killing of an innocent person is as if you killed all of humanity. They don't follow up with the following paragraph that says you're not innocent under certain conditions. A big one for that would be you're not innocent if you don't follow Islam. So right there, then they feel they have the right to take your life because you're not a follower of Islam, so you're not an innocent. So their definitions do differ from ours purposefully, so that they can deceive us and claim that they're telling the truth. They're telling a phrase that goes around a lot in liberal circles these days is my truth. Well, Islam has their truth, and it differs from our definitions of words. So if you're dealing with a Muslim, or if you're hearing anybody in defense of Muslims say these phrases, you have to be very critical of what they're saying. And you have to understand, like if Western media says, well, they don't believe in terrorism, they say that. Well, they're not thinking critically. Either that or they're actually helping them to deceive us. But they're not using critical thought. They're just taking at face value what they say and not saying, wait, explain that to me. So I don't know if that's out of ignorance, fear, or if they're actually siding with the Islamics against their own people. I don't care what it is, you're not getting the whole truth. Now, if you want to find the whole truth for yourself, I've already mentioned reading the Quran, reading the Hadith, reading the Sirah, which is his biography, Muhammad's biography. Another good place to go to, source to go to, is called The Reliance of the Traveler. It is the Islamic law book used by 85% of the imams, and it draws from the Hadiths and the Quran. So it does tell you what they believe, and you start reading that, and it will open your eyes to what Islam really is. Another concern is that in the West, we are very open. We will let anybody practice their faith or not practice the faith at all, doesn't matter. In Islamic countries, you can only practice Islam. They will persecute and drive out of their country either through murder or people fleeing persecution. They will drive any other faith out of the country. So you don't see Christians in too many Christians in Islamic countries because they take them over. Turkey used to be a Christian country. Iran, they practice Zoroastrian, probably pronouncing that wrong, but it was a faith that has been driven out of Iran, and Islam has replaced it. They will not accept any other faith coexisting in their countries. Like Turkey right now, the state is taking over Christian churches, so the Christian people are not going to have places to worship. So people have to, if you value your faith, I'm not religious, so I don't have a dog in this fight, so to speak. So for me, being critical of Islam is not based on a faith. It's just based on how they act towards humanity. But if you're a Christian, if you're Jewish, if you're Hindu, if you're Buddhist, if you're Sikh, any other religion, and you really have faith in your religion, and you want to be able to practice it, you have to be critical of Islam, because they certainly are critical of you to the point where they will kill you. I know the Islamic faith believes in only one religion, one God. It's Islam, and it's Allah. And if you believe anything else, they will make you suffer for it. So I just want people to read and educate themselves. Do not defend something you do not know about. It's only prolonging suffering. Telling the truth will enable people to hopefully fight against a hate-filled ideology that is filled with death. It is not compatible with any other culture, any other religion. I actually watch news around the world. They have problems with it in China, in Russia, in every place they set foot. Islam is a problem for any opposing views. So if you can read this stuff, that would go a long way to helping your understanding. Thank you.